don't want to mess with it too much. I found a website called tabletopaudio.com, and it's a bunch of free background music. It's supposed to be for like role-playing and whatnot, but so we'll give this a try. So I wanted to try and do something a little bit different. I wanted to sort of go back to this idea that I had for the sort of the community game idea that I had a long time ago. And so in order to, I guess, sort of prepare that, I figured that we could play games that are sort of similar in concept, or that have at least inspired the idea for the game. And so I wanted to play The Quiet Year together, just for a little bit. This is probably going to be a pretty short stream, I would imagine, but so this is going to be an interactive game. We are obviously here in Tabletop Simulator, and we will attempt to play the game as far as I can make it work and get this going. So let me just look here. Okay, I'm gonna write the rules to the game. Let's do this here. So we a card. And then we actually, this should probably be like that. Okay. I don't know if the notes in this are going to show up very well. And I don't really actually like the fact that it is hanging over to the right side like that. We're going to go ahead and do something a little bit along the lines of making this into sort of a Halloween-y horror theme. A little bit. As much as possible, anyway. So, for anyone participating, I'm gonna have to, where is this thing? We're going to probably, well, actually, I guess not. I was gonna say we're gonna need Discord, but I can't get the Twitch stream to show up on the screen here, so that won't actually be necessary. Then we can keep it over there. The reason I was going to need to have Discord is because this is going to require the ability to whisper. Or at least the modifications to the game that I was going to use were going to require that. But like I said, because I do not have the Twitch stream chat up on the window, I can just use the Twitch chat for this. So anyway, for whoever is participating, which will hopefully be all of you, we will be going through turns here to create a little world for a year, and that year is dictated by these cards down here, and it represents 52 weeks for the deck, and each card has an event attached to it. And so basically this is a collaborative discussion, decision-making game where we each take turns. Well, I don't, but the players take turns, and events will happen with a card, and that sort of affects how the community acts and reacts to it. And then there are 3 actions that the player whose turn it is gets to decide what to do. So they get to discover something about this area. So I guess I should first probably talk about the setting. The setting of the game itself is that you're just sort of, I guess, refugees from some apocalyptic event that has happened. And so you're settling into a new area, and you're discovering places and all that. So the setting that we're going to be using for this Halloween setting is, I guess, kind of inspired by, well, I was watching the Netflix Castlevania series, and so in that series, Dracula's wife gets killed by the villagers, tried as a witch, and then he comes and threatens to destroy the city, and, well, the nation, actually, of Wallachia, but he gives them a year. And so, kind of in that vein, we're sort of in let's just say it's like a Transylvanian type country, and the survivors from the attack on whatever city has happened, the survivors have fled and are seeking refuge somewhere in the countryside, and the Dark Prince is going to come back with the forces of evil a year from now. It'll be in the winter time. We start out on spring 1, and it goes until we hit the King of Spades in the winter deck. This is broken down by suit, and so each represents a season. The King of Spades is the final card that, when it's drawn, the game ends. And it ends kind of ambiguously. We don't really get to see what happens. It's just sort of left open-ended in the game. But this game in particular was an inspiration that I wanted to use in my own game that I wanted to, I guess, collectively develop for Twitch. So the idea then is going to be that we'll take turns now. So drawing these cards, an event will happen. The community will decide the reaction to that, and then each player, whoever's turn it is, will go through these steps of discovering something, holding a community discussion, or starting a project. And so when we discover something, it gets drawn on this map up front here, and so we kind of collaboratively create the world that the survivors are living in. And the second decision, or the second action, is to hold a discussion. So this is basically a little powwow of saying, hey, this is something I think we should deal with, or something I think we should focus our efforts towards, and everyone basically just gets a vote. It's not really a discussion in the rules. It's really meant to be more of just a quick little, everyone gets a say, and then this is sort of put on the agenda type thing. And then starting a project is meant to sort of help the community in one way or another. And so it could be something like, I want to build a sawmill, and then we determine, well, how long is that going to take in weeks? And or, you know, whatever the project is. And it could be exploring an area. It could be you know, building houses, whatever. It's really, I mean, the game itself is very loose, and it's really more focused, I guess, towards the role-playing of the community interaction. But that's not really what I wanted my game to be about. I wanted my game to be really more of a collective role-playing settlement builder kind of thing. So, you know, what we're playing now is not really going to be I guess, a full actual game. This is really more just an ideas playthrough to kind of to get sort of a creative idea of what we could do as we build this game together. Hello, Zoc. As you jump in just after the description of what we're doing here today. Hold on, let me get a drink. Okay, so we're not going to need these bowls, and I'm going to need some note cards. I'll just make a couple here. And what else do we need? I don't think we need anything else. Okay. Let me just put these together here first, actually. How do I change this? Oh, it's this. Okay. Then in this one, okay, now we'll just have a couple extra over here. Okay, so we're playing The Quiet Year, and sort of. We're gonna try. Okay, so I've kind of got the rules over here. We'll go ahead and they're very simple rules, so it's not too difficult here. So who all is gonna play? You three? Anyone else lurking who wants to actually jump in on this? Go, hold on a minute. That one will go. How do I get these? I don't know that I get a choice there. Let me find another object. I don't think I want marbles. Where are tokens? I need. Well, let's take this. Okay. Yeah, we'll just use the marker here. Okay. So the first things first, let me go ahead and do a little bit of drawing here. We should probably actually maybe pick a color that we can actually see. Oh, good, just in time. Just in time for the stream to go down here. Hey, Caleb. Well, I mean, you can pop in, and we'll put you in here anyway. And if you have to leave, then so be it. Now, I'm not super great with Tabletop Simulator either, so I'd like to. Well, I guess that'll just have to work over here. Yeah, I see that the stream is starting to be janky. Okay, so I'm gonna draw a few more lines here, maybe. Nah, we'll kind of draw this ambiguously here. How do I get rid of there? Okay. So I've separated this into quadrants here. So let me look at the rules here. Right. Hopefully the stream stabilizes. If it doesn't, it might be the music. This is just a little bit, let me get rid of that track. Let's try this one. That other one was just a little bit intense. Ooh, Castle Jail? How about that? Haunted? Graveyard? Barovian Castle? That actually kind of sounds pretty close to what I want there. Okay. So, ooh, don't do that. Oh, jeez. Okay. So, I will be drawing the map. And we'll give it kind of a color code as we go here. Well, I mean, it just got a little bit intensive and over the top here. Okay, so I'm going to go down the list here on the left side. And the first thing we need to do is add in a terrain feature. And so, Untamed Fox, give me a feature of this area that the survivors have entered into. Yeah, I'm about to. Actually, I mean, I've got the chat open. Why don't all of you give me a terrain feature for this area, whether it's like a shoreline, a mountain, forests, plains, whatever. We just need to have sort of an area of the map. And I don't know how. Stones, okay. Abandoned city, okay. And also, which one of these quadrants, we'll just do northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast, would you like that feature in? Okay. Sorry, I don't know how long of a lag time there is with the stream from when I'm seeing here, but okay, I'm gonna draw some stones here. I'm doing this with a mouse, so bear with me here, and they are mossy, so I have to actually let's pick just that. Be easy. Like some mossy stones. Well, I mean, these are sort of big features of the map. I mean, obviously these resources are going to be everywhere, but we're basically setting up areas where we can say, okay, I'm going to this area of the map and then exploring around it or whatever. So I'm just going to take a little bit of liberty with it, I guess. So southeast coastline. Let's go ahead and that is not the correct that is not the correct color. I don't actually think that this is you know, really suited for this game, but we're going to try it anyway. Tabletop Simulator has got a few. It's not actually a good color for that. It's got a few things it needs a little bit of work with. Well, whatever. Yeah, it's a nice polluted area. So I'll just go ahead and pick I'll pick up in the northeast of the forest, I guess. This looks nothing like forest, I realize. It's just to give an impression. Oh my god, come on. And if we really have to, I'll put in some type so we know what this is. Okay, let's actually do that. We'll go forest. And we'll give it a color of green, because of course we will. And we'll say mossy stone. We'll give this a color of gray. And then we'll say coast. We'll give this a color. Okay. Northwest City. Yes. So then we'll go, we'll say, I mean, we'll put it centralized, I guess. Now this is a medieval city. Well, not really medieval. I mean, the setting, I guess, I kind of want to be well, appropriate to a Dracula theme. I don't know what the heck I am making here. We'll make like a little cathedral. How about? And this looks awful. It's good enough. It's good enough. If I could get my drawing tablet to work on this computer, I might actually have the ability to actually draw something on there. Okay. So, the next thing we need to do is I need a resource. And this is going to be a resource that we will utilize either like food or building material or something. And I will put in on this. That is actually not what I want. There we go. Hey, Cloud Soda. You want in on this? Sure you do. You're here, so... Whoops. I'm gonna need a terrain feature from you as well. cloud soda. So everyone, I need a resource. We are playing Tabletop Simulator. We're going to be playing The Quiet Year. Beef? Okay. Ah, where am I? Oh, damn it. I need to have this. Okay. So we'll have, why can't I type here? There we go. We will have cattle. We will have, carbonated spring. Montanans are psychos? I guess it depends on which kind of Montanans are you talking about. No, let's just go ahead and confirm that. Because you've got the crazy country people, or you've got the crazy city folk. I mean, it's all the same. Primarily a bunch of crazy anarcho-libertarians, so yeah, majority will say yes. Okay. I need a couple more resources, because what we're going to do is we're going to find a resource that is in abundance, and other resources are going to be in scarcity, and that's going to affect how the settlement can develop, and as well as some of the actions that we will take. Okay, we'll say an iron deposit. I don't think that's something that we can actually use. I think dignity would be a very difficult thing to make anything out of. Yeah, so these are just like material horses. Okay. Who didn't go? Zoc. I think I'm waiting on you. I mean, we can do that. I could just put slabs of beef on the ground. Depending on what kind of Lovecraftian horrorscape we wanted, we could just have beef trees or something. Playing marbles? Okay. Some wood? Wood Zoc? Okay. We'll change that to timber, how about? Seeing as how we do actually have that. Why is it not changing? Okay, well anyway. So I am going to spin the wheel, and whatever it lands on is going to be the one thing in abundance, and everything else is going to be a scarcity. Abundant in horses. Boy, that is going to make the rest of that a little bit difficult, isn't it? What? Get out of here. Get. Oh, fun. It won't. There we go. Okay. Okay, so let me get in here. We have horses are in abundance in this area. Now, obviously, we're going to have to roleplay this. Let me bring you over here. Because there's not actually any resource spring water. I'll just say a spring iron deposit and timber. Okay, so basically what this is going to mean in terms of role-playing is that when we want to do a project, it's going to take a little bit longer to get things done because of the scarcity. Unless that project has to do with horses, in which case we can just go pick one up off of anywhere and we'll be fine. Okay, so going down the list here, we'll take turns. And we'll go in order of these things over here. So first thing I'm going to do is shuffle the spring deck. And we'll draw a card here. Okay. 4 of hearts. So this is going to be a decision now made by each of the players based upon the card. And that is going to have an impact on the community. The decision made by the card is not necessarily going to be the fault of the player. The players, when it comes to these events, are setting up the events for everybody. It's when we get to these other decisions, whether we're discovering something, having a discussion about what to do, starting a project, that is going to be something that will then be player-centered. And what I mean by that is, well, let's say we get into start a project, and let's say, you know, I think we should build a water mill or something. That just happens. There's no discussion about what that project is. You as a player get to say, this is what we're doing with our resources. Now, other people might object to that, and this is where the whisper system comes in. So when somebody objects to one of these actions that a player makes, we get this contempt, and I'm just going to call this, like, well, I mean, for the game that I wanted to be playing, it would be something more along the lines of dissatisfaction and corruption. Basically what this is, I'm changing a little bit from the game rules. So this represents sort of the dissatisfaction in the community. And so this is where the whisper system comes in. If you object to something that somebody does in the game, you're going to have to whisper me into, God damn it, can I get just the marble? In Twitch chat, and you do that with /W, I think. Tell me that you object, and if you do, I'll put a jar, or a marble into the bowl, and that will just sort of tell everybody that it has, you know, their decision has brought a little bit of the contempt into the community. But it will be up to you and myself to write down how much we've got as a resource, and so you only get one. But so the way this works is that what? Okay, that's fine. You know, if you object, then I will put one of these marbles into the bowl, and then I will write down the player and who made the objection. Now, when we look at the marbles in the bowl, you won't be able to tell who made that objection. That's where the whisper part comes in. So you keep track, I keep track. And so let's say, for example, Zoc has 2 in here. He objected twice. Now, no one else will know that, but these will be resources that he will have. And so he can use these to cancel an action, or basically sabotage an action. So, like if someone else decides to do something, or a project is being worked on, Zoc can then whisper me, say, hey, I'd like to use one of my contempt points to either stop it or delay it or something. I would then remove this, and that would diminish from the bowl. Again, no one would know who made the decision to cause the sabotage or whatever, but we'd see that, hey, that got used, and then it would have an impact. So there's a little bit of, I guess, like, what is it, Salem, werewolf, I mean, even Among Us, you know, that sort of, there's someone in the town that is causing trouble. And so that kind of goes into what I'd wanted to do for my own game, you know, was that there was going to be like the Cthulhu cult or whatever. But so anyway, that's just a mechanic that I'm changing from the game, because in the game itself, in the Quiet Year, that doesn't actually have anything. It's just sort of like, I guess, meant to guilt trip you, because if you get too many contempt points, it's just supposed to be like, oh, people aren't happy, I should be thinking more about the community, because it's really more of a community role-playing game, which I'm trying to adapt and change. So anyway, the way it's going to work is that it will basically be points that will allow you to cancel other people's actions. Is how we're gonna do that. So if that, hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully I explained that. Okay, so anyway, we're back to the cards. Untamed Fox. The first event of the year is, you can either choose what important and basic tool does the community lack, or where are you storing your food? Why is this risky to store things? And so just a quick one-sentence thing. You can choose, there's a tool the community needs that we don't have that's important, or where is the food being stored, and why so our food stores are basically unstable, is basically how this is. And if you don't want to make the decisions, I can pull out a coin and I can just make the decision on this, I guess. If we'd rather speed it along that way, I can make the decision that here's the event that's happening. Yeah, the beef is all tucked away in trees and it's exposed. Okay, so the Four of Hearts was drawn, and so we're looking at the Four of Hearts event here. And so one of two things is happening, and you get to pick which one of those crises is affecting the community. So we're either going to have a tool that we need that we don't have, or our food stocks, okay, wheelbarrows. So I'm going to put down, let's go ahead and use a note card here. Call this, what, events? Or about a crisis. It's not really a crisis. And then we'll use this one and we'll name this as projects. Okay. So I'll change this to, let's say, We'll just say it's a problem right now. So the problem is that we lack wheelbarrows. Okay, so the way that this next part of this goes... Yeah, so the way this goes is that we can say that... What the hell are we... Sorry, I'm fiddling with the music here. We can say that this lack of wheelbarrows could be something that we want to fix in a project. Either go exploring for some, maybe say in the abandoned city, or we can start a project to build some. So the next decision then, Untamed Fox, that you have to make is, do you want to go and discover a new place on the map? In which case you would get to say, okay, I'm going to go and explore, let's say there's a swamp, and I would then add the swamp to the map, or something like that. Or you could say, I'm going to go look at the abandoned city for wheelbarrows, or something like that. Or, as a second action, you can hold a discussion. So you can say, hey, we need to get wheelbarrows. And that would be your one-sentence statement, and then everyone else would get to put in their 2 cents on it. Again, a one-sentence reaction to that saying, yes, I think we should put our resources to this, or whatever. This part of the game is a little bit weird, the discussion part. I don't really understand. But basically, that is a platform for saying, this is something I think that we as a community should focus on. And it takes up that turn. And then the third option is to start a project saying, I want to build wheelbarrows, or it doesn't have to be wheelbarrows. I mean, it could be related to anything. This actually has no direct impact on us right now. So you could say, I'm going to go, I want to go set up a fisher's hut or something, or go mine some stone for iron, or whatever you want to do to progress the community, because the point of the game is that we are trying to build a community through the year until that winter hits, when in the setting that we're using here, the Dark Prince and his minions come. And so that's basically what we're trying to do here. So the next decision for you, then, is going to be either discover something, have a discussion, or start a project. Okay, we're going to go get some wood from the forest. We'll go ahead and just give it a 1. So what these dice now mean is that this represents how long it's going to take to do the project. Obviously, 1 represents 1 week, because each of these cards represents a week, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to take a week. So we're going to go gather wood, or Untamed Fox wants to go gather wood, and so the idea is that there's about like 50 to 60 villagers. It's not just the 4 or the 5 of you. There's a community, so basically you're directing the community to go spend some of their time doing this. So by collecting the wood here, we can determine what that's going to do to the village. In this case, we might say that, well, there's a little bit of scarcity in timber, but maybe that's no longer a scarcity once we go collect some wood from the forest. That could be the consequence of that project. That gets determined on the next turn, so that is Untamed Fox's turn there. So now it's down to Pocket Ninja, and we draw... Okay, let me see here. Yeah, we draw another card. So it is now the 5 of Hearts. So first things first, something happens. 5 of Hearts event is there's a disquieting legend about this area that we've come to, or there are alarming weather patterns that destroy something. So far, the first thing that happened, Cloud Soda, was that we went into the forest to gather some wood. And so that's pretty much where we're at. Sorry, this is taking a little bit longer to explain, I guess, than to actually play. It's not really that bad, but yeah. I guess I'm just not really explaining it as well. A legend. Okay, what's the legend? We could actually go into Discord and use the voice chat there instead, if that would make this easier. It would depend upon everyone having a microphone for that. This will work all right. I'd actually hoped to get stream chat up on the screen here, so that we could at least have the communication going, or have like Discord chat in here. But I'm gonna have to actually break down and change my streaming software in order to get an overlay that I can actually use. You guys want to? So I set up a voice channel for game chat if you want to join. Join that. I think that I should be muted, hopefully, because I don't want it to cross over with what I've already got going for the stream. But yeah, if you're in Discord and you want to use that, go ahead and join the game chat channel in Discord. I still haven't really decided what I want to do with Discord yet. Eventually, I'd kind of like it to do that. I'd like us to be able to use some of the features of Discord for the stream. But see, I think I want to be muted there. Okay. I definitely don't want double voice from me, so just spewed water all over myself, so that's fantastic. Is that chat working? I don't hear it. And you're not muted. Don't have deafen on, so how do I voice and video? Noise reduction. Okay. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to figure that one out then. I don't know. I don't know anything about Discord. I don't know enough for that. Okay, anyway. So, the disquieting legend of small children a la Lord of the Flies. So, once upon a time, in the area, there was general chat. Try general chat. I mean, they should be the same thing, I think. Okay. So I'm gonna make another. See, how do I duplicate this? Phone. There we go. We'll kind of put this over here. How about? And we'll say instead of projects, there's we'll call it lore, not that. Got my caps lock on. Lore, lore. Good lord. Okay, so once upon a time, we had let's say lost children was Lord
Now?
of the. Yes, I can hear you now. Okay, so there's lost children that basically had a Lord of the Flies situation, and where that happened in our land, Are we determining that now, or are we gonna? Yeah, the stream is a little bit delayed. I guess I could try starting it again. Why don't I do that? Why don't I do that here? While I'm restarting the stream, decide if you want to determine where this Lost Children thing happens, or if we'll just figure that out later. I'm gonna restart the stream. I'll be back real quick.